Hey, Dave. Hey, thank you so much, by the way. I am learning a ton of what we're missing and how we're not communicating well. And I thank you for that. I really do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I put this video together for you to hopefully clarify ContentHub, BuyerHub, and all the features that we provide for you. So this may end up being about a 10-minute video. Hopefully I can do it quick without confusing you, but please do me a favor, watch it when you have a chance. And it's going to add, I think it's going to add tremendous value to what the platform does and offers for you, and hopefully make it clearer too. So as you and I have talked about before, buyers buy differently. They control their journey. And what that means is they're watching from the outside looking in, right? They're watching at our social posts. They see content all the time. And one of the things that they do is when a need arises, when there's a problem, the first thing they start to do is, who do I know, right? They don't, and they do Google search and all that. But for our use case, the Content Hub versus the Buyer Hub is designed for more of that top of funnel, mid funnel, even above the funnel, people that are engaging with your social content, or they're, direct messages you send to people in LinkedIn that you're not quite ready to have a conversation, like more of a buying conversation. Maybe you're still filling them out to see if there's interest there. It's more of that public stuff. That's what the Content Hub is designed for. And then we have the Buyer Hub, which is really designed when somebody's kind of gone through that process at the top and you said, hey, they have clicked on information that we're interested in. I can see what they're interested in. They've had several visits. I want to move them to a more of a one-on-one conversation. And this is a digital conversation. That's where we move them into the Buyer Hub. So let me show you what the value is on the Content Hub side and with visitors. So what I've got is, let me show you my visitors, which we classify them right here as called leads. Oh my gosh, I've got my picture in the way. That's annoying. Okay, I still have my picture in the way. Well, there we go. I just move it. Okay, leads. Now, leads are really our visitors. These are people that have engaged with either our social posts or they visited our hub. And you've got the filters here so that you can show, I just want to look at my hub visitors. I want to look at my social click visitors, or you can look at all of them. Now, the only business button is, especially with so many people working from home right now, we weed out the ISP providers. So I'd say like, let's see, if I go here, Lumen Technologies, Spring Creek Cable, these are probably not people that work for Spring Creek Cable. These are probably people that pay Spring Creek Cable for internet service. So let me go back to only visits, only businesses. Let me take a look at this one, VisaStat Inc. Now what I see is all the information from the company. If they were on one of my watch lists, and a watch list is from your ABM system, you could load all the companies that you're currently targeting, their domains. And if anybody from that website visits your hub or engages with your social post, you'll immediately get a notification so you're aware of it. Okay. So what I'm looking at here is all the information on VisaStat. Their website is kickfire.com. So now I'm more aware of who they are. And now I can come down here and see who the visitor was. And they had one visit. If I click on the plus sign, what I can see in here is the visitor was from San Jose. They clicked on a social post from LinkedIn, and this is the page that they visited. Now, if I want to see what social post they clicked, I click on here. And that icon is going to bring me into the social post, and I can see the details of the social post that they clicked. Now, let me come back to here. I can see that they had one visit, and they came from LinkedIn, and they visit this article I could click here and go see the article that they visited. And again, this is all on my Content Hub. This is all the public stuff. Now, this is where it gets really fun. So I want to identify now who this visitor was. So what we have in here is through the reverse IP technology, we know this person works for Visistat. Their DBA looks like it's Kickfire. If I use LinkedIn or Sales Navigator, I can click on, in this case, LinkedIn. And what that's going to do is automatically bring me to the business page of the company from this visitor works. Now, for me, this was a social post. I'm going to assume first and foremost that it was probably somebody I'm connected to. And so I can click right here and see who I'm connected to at this company and where they're located. So when I can make an assumption now, I may not be able to immediately identify who this visitor was because 3 people that I'm connected to all live in San Jose. But let's say one of them lived in like San Ramon, and the visitor's from there. So I would be able to start to be able to deduce who the visitor was. Now let me take this a little bit further. Let's say, let me back up 2 things here. One, I want to figure out what their visitor intent was. Now at this point, it's a single visit. Maybe it's not really a good indicator of their intent because they only clicked one article. But if I was able to see down here through their click paths, or that this visitor came multiple times to my hub or engaged with my social content multiple times, maybe I could start to see a pattern. But we'll use this as an example, even though they've only had one visit. The visitor intent is based on the topic categories that have been assigned to all of our articles, and then the weight that was assigned to each article, meaning this article that she clicked on is probably rated really, really high, 100% for sales success problem, 50% for training, 50% for content for reps, and at 0% about pricing for Funnel Amplified. So I'm getting an indication, or at least insight, a little bit as to what she's been curious about. Now, again, one visit doesn't mean anything. But if she had 5 or 6 visits and multiple pages, I'm starting to drill in on what she's interested in or what she cares about. So now let's imagine she has done multiple visits and I'm starting to get excited about, hey, this person could actually be somebody of interest for me to engage with because maybe they're interested in buying. What I can do at that point, and I'm going to pretend that this was April Ramirez. This is exactly what I do. This is exactly the way I would use it. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to grab her LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say, I want to now create her as a lead. And I can put in this information. And what I have, right, her LinkedIn profile. Rename this Kickfire. And if I come back over here through her contact info, oh, interesting. She doesn't put her Kickfire email. But I could grab her email, add her email, and I'm also going to add we need to start automatically pulling that in from there, which we can do. So now I create her as a lead. All this means at this point is I want to keep more awareness of what she is doing with my content. I'm not yet ready to move her into being a buyer. I just want to be more aware. So now when I log in, I can come into my leads list. And what I can do is click on April and start to see what April is doing with my hub with my content. I could see what her buyer intent score is. Now, when I'm ready, let me come back over here. When I'm ready, based on seeing everything that April's been doing with my content, and I go, you know what? I want to reach out specifically with her. I've seen what she's been looking at. Based on the categories, I get an idea of what's important to her. Now I can click on here and create her as a buyer. And now what this did is it immediately created a buyer hub for April. It's on its own URL. It's all ready for me. Now what I need to do, and I've got all of her information here of what she cares about. Now I can come over here to select articles that I want to share specifically with April. Now again, I've taken all the Content Hub and social engagement that she's done. Funnel Amplified has given me indication of what she's interested in, what she cares about, what her challenges are. And now I want to go position myself as a value add to her by selecting specific articles, based on topic that I think are going to be relevant to April and add them to her buyer hub. So let me just put a couple of these in there. And now what I can do is I can write my message to April. I can embed my video, and I can then take this link and share it with April however you want, that I have this, I'm going to share this content with her. So there you have it. That's really the bit of the soup to nuts of why a content hub, to really get people at that above the funnel, top of the funnel, even down to mid funnel. But once their engagement and interaction with your content comes to a point where you make a decision, go, I'm ready to have a deeper conversation with this person or make myself more important to them, then you immediately move them into being a buyer, and it turns on the buyer hub immediately. And you can select the articles you want to share. And for me, what this does is, if I was watching what April was doing over the last week or two, and now all of a sudden I turn it into this, and her visits and engagement with my content is any indication of what she cares about, when I select these articles, put them together and share it with her, I'm going to look like a huge value add to her, because I'm going to share content with her that is relevant to her, that she's been researching, she's trying to figure out, and I am going to look a bit like a rock star, and my probability of winning that deal shoots up dramatically. Now, the last thing is, as I move April into the buyer hub, I can also click on here and continually see her visits of what articles she's visiting, what articles she starts with, and where she goes. And this is the part that I absolutely love. The buyer intent side has this, what I call my top prospects today. What it's constantly telling me is who has been engaging with my content the most of my buyers in the past 24 hours. So like in this case, I know I have a call scheduled tomorrow, my CRM with Josh. I looked at my calendar, so I already know, but I've got a call with Josh tomorrow. But this morning when I logged in, I see Josh's buyer intent score is at 100. And I can click in here to Josh. I see all these scores that he's looking at. He's really, really focused on our sales success problem. He's somewhat interested in content for sales reps and somewhat interested in training. But I can also come over here and look at all of his visits and see everything that Josh has been reading on my buyer hub. And now I'm fully prepared for my conversation with Josh tomorrow because I can see all this. But let's assume for a second that my scheduled call with Josh wasn't until like next Tuesday. And today's Tuesday. I'm like, Josh was all over my content. I don't want to wait till next Tuesday. I want to make a decision of what to do with Josh. I could send him more content. I could pick up the phone and call him. I can email him from here if I wanted to. Oh, I didn't add it, but the idea I like is, and let me show you with April, because I know I added it. if I'm kind of excited about everything that April's been doing and I want to engage with her, I can just click on LinkedIn icon and go straight to her account and see what she's posted. And if I wanted to go engage, you know this, make myself known by commenting on her posts, then I could do that as well. So, Dave, I'm sorry I went a little longer than I wanted to, but it's really important for me that you see this and understand it, because I think it's going to add a ton of value to you. I've just done a really poor job of explaining it to you, and I'm hoping that this is going to help. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.